Hey, it's Kevin. Welcome back to another episode of kev-tv. I was trying to come up with a way to signal you when we're going to produce a new episode. Maybe something like a black puff of smoke when there is no episode, a white puff of smoke when Yeah, that wouldn't work. Or it's been done before. Sounds familiar. Today we're talking fame once again, and I really wasn't planning on talking fame, but a buddy of mine, Brent, well, kind of touched on our last topic. On the last Kev TV, if you haven't watched it, go back and watch it, or I'll just give you the shortcut right here. We talked about a couple of things. Over the years, I've always said you need one thing in your life to assure that, well, you were going to be famous or your children were going to be famous, and that's lots of video through your youth. Lots of pictures, lots of video. For the music video, look behind the scenes kind of thing for those, what do they call those, behind the musics? And then recently I came up with another one that you had to have a pseudonym. You needed to have that second name that you were known by. And we touched on some of those. But Brent brought up a third one. And I don't necessarily know if you need it for fame, but I think it's something that, well, when you can sense fame either coming on or the desire for fame by the signature. And he joked you had to have a good signature in order to be famous. And I guess maybe that's true. What's funny is even though I don't consider myself famous, working in radio for a bunch of years, I signed autographs. I probably signed my first autograph in the 1970s. It's kind of crazy. I was still a teenager when I signed my first autograph for somebody who was a listener. And it was flattering, and I signed autographs up until, darn near my last day in radio. I think we had an event either two nights before or one night before. It may have been one night before. I think it was a Thursday night before I wrapped up my radio career on a Friday. And I signed autographs that night. So I have a little bit of experience signing autographs, and I am told I have a pretty unique signature. Now, what's funny is it wasn't planned that way. When you're a kid, when you learn cursive writing, you plan on how your signature is going to look. And I found an old document that I'd signed back when I was 17, 18 years old of my full name. I had to sign my full name, Kevin Robert Mason. And looking at what that was and what Kevin Robert Mason morphed into, it's quite amusing. So yeah, perhaps you need to have, practice at signing your name. But I think more importantly, you need to have, multiple signatures. As I always tell people, I've got my official signature, and then I've got just my first name, Kevin, which is how I used to sign off on just regular correspondence with friends and things like that. And then I've got the one where, you really want to make sure it's legible. I know it's crazy, but I've got them, and maybe it's something for fame you need to work on. Or better yet, if you're a parent and you see the child practicing the signature early on, maybe you got something to look out for. I wouldn't necessarily not put off on retirement or anything like that, but you never know. Another episode of Kev TV. I promise coming up very soon. We won't take as long a break. You won't have to worry about white smoke, black smoke, none of that kind of stuff. Just more fun with Kev TV coming up, I promise.